Hey everyone, I'm th-pine and welcome to hackmud. What is hackmud, you ask? I like to call it a multiplayer sandbox hacking game. It just released on Steam and this is what it looks like. So is it the hacking game I was waiting for? Unfortunately I have to say no, not quite. It's not bad though, and it's definitely very unique and at the very least worth checking out. So what is it exactly? Well, the game consists of two parts. The first one is the single-player text-adventure hacking puzzle game, which kind of acts as a tutorial for the real game, which is the second part, which is the multiplayer part, which I'm going to talk a bit more in depth until we finish the first part. Well, not finished, but until I'm finished talking about the first part. So we're in the first part here, so the single-player part, which, PSA, is not available offline, by the way. You have to be connected to the internet to play the single-player part as well. Anyway, I created a new account, and this is not quite the start, but it's fairly at the beginning of the whole thing. It's not super long, but anyway. And right now I'm supposed to access a script called _hrackkmud helpdesk and get some user data from it. So how do you do that? Well, you type in the name of the script, right? _hrackkmud help helpdesk. There's autocomplete. It works pretty well for the most part. So this will give me a message. Welcome to the _hrackkmud Systems Help Desk Information System. Unauthorized access is prohibited. Please provide password to continue. Okay, we don't know the password, but we can guess. So you provide parameters by putting them in brackets, well, curly brackets, and typing the name of the parameter, then a colon, and then whatever the value is. In this case, we just, I don't know, let's use test or whatever. That's probably not the right password, right? No, but it gives me a hint. So it gives me a password hint, which is blue. Now I have to guess the password based on that hint. So a spoiler warning: I'm not gonna show you, not gonna be able to show you this without any sort of spoilers. So if you don't want to get spoiled, well, I will try to not mention the important things, like speaking them out loud, but they will be on the screen anyway. So if you want to turn off the screen now, that would be a good time, but still like continue listening, or you can turn off the video if you're really that concerned about spoilers in general, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna explain how this works now. So this is the only hint we got, and this is the sort of puzzles this first part of the game actually challenged you with. Well, kind of the second part of the game as well, actually. So it just gives you a hint, blue. So you don't know what to do with that at all. So okay, this is a password hint. That could mean anything. What do we have to do? Do we have to put in shades of blue, like different words for blue, or do we have to put in things that are blue? Well, I'm gonna type in the answer now, so if you didn't turn off your screen yet and you don't want to get spoiled, do it now. So I'm putting in the password now, the correct one. I know it already because I did beat this already, right? So this is the password, and you have, like, I just got this by pure guesswork. There's no other hint besides this one word, blue, which is, I don't know, it's a weird puzzle design in my opinion, to say the very least. Like, it's not, I don't like those sort of puzzles. I prefer puzzles where you actually like have some logical steps to follow and not just like guessing, and especially because you don't get feedback. So if you put in a wrong password, you will just get the same hint over and over again. And I prefer riddles or puzzles or whatever where you get some feedback if you're doing something wrong, so you can learn from the feedback and like get improved chances at solving it. So now it tells us that we provided the correct password, and we have two options. We can either check the notices or the getting started section. So let's do that. Still don't turn on your screen again if you're concerned about the spoilers. I will tell you when you can. So we have to keep the password in there, but we can add another parameter with a comma, and we choose notices. Oh, I have to put it into quotes. There we go. And it will give us a bunch of text, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there we go. This actually includes a hint for we will use later, or we will need later. I'm not sure if I'm going to show you that, but there is a hint in this text already as well, but we don't need it for now. So let's check out the other option, which is getting started. Oops. You also maybe noticed that there's always like a 2-second delay or something on every command I put in. I'm not sure if that's like, if there's a technical reason for this because it's going to the server and the ping is just fairly high. If not, like, or no matter what, it's fairly annoying because it delays your progress quite a bit from time to time. Because especially if you have a typo in it, you see, oh, I mistyped, but you can't cancel it. You have to wait for the command to come back and correct your typo. You can start typing before the command is finished, but you will not be able to send it again before it's finished. So that's a little annoying, but it's a minor gripe, I guess. So no, it tells us a bunch of stuff, and it mentions help desk roster. So let's try to access that, shall we? Oh, actually, we need the password hint already, I mentioned earlier. So, there we go. And it says we need a password. Oh no, it doesn't. Never mind. Wait, it says this is not a valid option. What was the way of doing this, right? Help desk roster. I'm just a dummy. There we go. I know how this works. Now it should ask for a password. There we go. So we have to add another parameter called roster pass, and as mentioned earlier, the password hint for that is hidden in this text we discovered earlier, and I'm just gonna put it in here again. And I think this is an even worse like puzzle, because some people might just not be able to solve this. I guess it's a very small minority. Most people should know this word, but some people might not. So this is a little questionable, to say the very least. But anyway, let's continue. And we get a bunch of user data. Okay, what we are supposed to do now is to report back to a bunch of NPCs who we were chatting with earlier. So let's do that by using chats send. The channel is called coolest cats, and we put in the user data. You can copy by either right-clicking or pressing Control V. And we just send that to the chat, and they will respond to that. There we go. And now they will chat with me, and there will be some random talk. Those are, as I said, NPCs you met along the way of the story, and they tell me how to break in those accounts now. But I know already how to do that, so we just put in the user script into the command line and press enter. And that will tell us that the user script is protected by an easy21 lock. So we have to break the lock. We do that by using the lock as a parameter and telling it something. So we don't know what to tell yet. So we just put some value in there for now and see what it comes back with. Don't get distracted by the chat in the background. Oh, I should clear the screen so people can turn on the screen again. Let's do that really quick. So okay, if you were concerned about spoilers and had your screen turned off, I cleared the screen. The passwords are not on screen anymore. You can turn it back on if you want to. So let's do this again. So we access the user log and putting in the easy21 parameter, and it tells us that something is not the correct unlock command. And if you're not quick enough, the people in the chat will tell you. But basically, there are 3 different possible unlock commands, and you have to try them out by trial and error. There are unlock, open, and release. This is not really a spoiler, well, a very minor one. And you have to just try and see which one's the correct one. It's random. So the easy21 lock is not a one-time thing. That's actually a mechanic that occurs in the second part, in the multiplayer part as well. Like that's a constant. Like those different kinds of locks are basically predetermined, or like are parts of the game that are reoccurring, I guess. So okay, we got a bunch of money, 6,000 GC, and we got a cryptic message saying A3Z colon cradle. Okay, and we had more usernames. Oh goddammit, how do I access them now? I guess we can put in the how do I access the usernames now without showing the password? I don't think we have to actually continue here. Basically, so the next step is you check the other 2 accounts as well. You get more messages like these. You use them all to continue in the story, and that's how the first part of the game like works. You get there step by step. It's fairly linear, well, pretty linear, like almost linear, 99%, I guess. And it basically teaches you like the core mechanics. How do you call scripts? How do you hack into an account? How do you use the locks or break the locks and stuff like that? How do you use the chat commands and chat channels and private chat and stuff like that? So it basically is a tutorial, as mentioned. Oh yeah, there's one thing. Basically, usually if you hack an account, it doesn't do it for this account probably because of tutorial reasons, but usually if you have to hack an account, you first have to do something else. You have to enter hardline mode. Let me demonstrate. So you put in the command kernel hardline, press enter, and it will start a weird animation with some random bullshit network stuff, I guess. And you have to type in the IP address showed at the top part of the screen. And now it will connect the dots, whatever, dial in. It's a cute animation, but it's not really like, doesn't have any purpose. And now we're in hardline mode, and that's timed like to 120 seconds, as you can see. And when those 120 seconds end, we will get dropped out of hardline mode, and it will be on cooldown and stuff like that. So you're on a timer sometimes when you're hacking, or most of the time actually. So let's actually leave hardline mode because it's kind of annoying. I think the command for leaving was DC true, if I remember correctly. Let's see if that works. It does. Good. Okay, so that's a single player part. Let's switch user to my main user account. And oops, that's not it. Let's switch user to my main user account, and welcome to the multi-user domain. So this is actually the multiplayer part of the map, of the game. So there are real players in here you can chat with, you can interact with. There are also NPCs though. So most random chatter you will see on the 0000 channel will be from NPCs. So all this stuff is NPCs. Well, this is not. This is actually the developer himself, Scene Makes Games. And this is the top player of the game, DTR. I chatted with them quite a bit, so I'm kind of familiar with them so far. Anyway, but this is all random NPC chatter. Well, there is DTR again. So that will happen. Like this is, it's a part of the game as well. Like the NPCs will give you hints basically and tell you about other channels you can join, which might include other hints again and stuff like that. And some of them are just quite funny to read. So that's part of the game. So as mentioned, we're in a multiplayer domain now, and we can do stuff now. So what do you do though? When I entered this part of the game, I was very confused and very directionless and didn't know what to do at all. And so yeah, I was totally lost. Luckily, there's this chat channel, and the people in this channel were pretty helpful and gave me some direction and stuff like that. There's no real goal here. It's a sandbox mode, as mentioned earlier, or a sandbox game, as mentioned earlier. So there's no real goal. But basically, what you want to do is get more money, which will allow you to upgrade your account, which will allow you to get more upgrades, which will get you more scripts, which will give you more power to get more money in the end, or hack more accounts or other players indeed as well, if you want to. And that will give you more money, and so on, basically. So that's the core idea. How do you do that? Well, you can, for example, well, when you start out, you don't have much, because when you migrate from the level from the first part of the game to the second one, you will lose all your money, all your upgrades and everything. So you will start off without any money. So what you usually want to do first is you want to put in scripts.fullsec, and that will give you a list of bunch of commands which are all considered full security. So there's nothing dangerous in here. There's nothing that will steal your money. That's not true for all scripts. There are other things like scripts nullsec, for example, and those scripts are considered dangerous. If you call them, you might lose all your money, or other things might happen. So I would not recommend calling them if you don't want to risk your account or whatever. So some of those scripts are user created. Yes, there are scripting in this game, and others are like in there from the game. So a bunch of stuff is like just like game engine stuff. Like actually, those are not. There should be in here somewhere. No, they're not in here. Like there are sys commands and stuff like that. So there's a bunch of stuff like sys upgrades, for example, which will show me my upgrades, or act.balance, which will show how much money I have. A bunch of stuff. And in the scripts fullsec category, there are those player scripts like DTR. Those are the public scripts by DTR has written and published. And others are like NPC corporations, like for example futuretech.access. Let's try that. Futuretech.access, and we put that in, and that enters basically the Future Tech website, I guess. and gives us some commands or some things to go on. So it has some categories here: happening and mission. We don't know how to enter those, so let's just try something. Let's say command maybe. It usually tells you something if you put in something wrongly. I did not put quotes around happening, so that doesn't work. And it tells me that you shouldn't use the nav parameter and not command. It's different for all the cups, so you have to try basically, but it will usually tell you something to go. You can continue with. So it also tells us that there's another value for the nav command, which is list, not only happening and mission. So let's take a look at happening. That will give us a list of events for this corporation. Then we can take a look at what was the other one? Mission, right? Mission, which gives you some text. Welcome to Future Tech. Yoga for the social age. Is that yoga? Probably. There's some those are corrupted bytes. That's on purpose. They're kind of random as well, though. But I think they're only in the corporation thingies. We are calling this strategy Know Your Team, and we will continue to strive to deliver on this promise. Okay, what was the other one? List, if I remember correctly. Let's take that. And it wants a password. Okay, cool. We don't have the password. Let's see if it gives us a password hint. Spoiler, it will not. You have to figure the password out differently. I'm not gonna spoil for you now how, but there are hints which will allow you to guess the password. And what this will do is it will give you access to a bunch of user accounts, NPC user accounts, which you can hack as in a similar way as I showed you earlier in the single player part of the game. And you can make money with that. A different way of getting user accounts like that is to use a script written by DTR, which is called Harvest T1, I think. Ugh. Harvest T1. And that will just, basically, that script just farms all the corporation scripts and gets user accounts from them and just gives you one. And if you hacked it, you can use a skip through parameter to get to the next one. So let's actually hack that to demonstrate how it works. And we need hardline for that, obviously. Oh, my nose is tickling. God damn it. Dude. I like the sounds, it's pretty good. It reminds me of the good old days, the 56k modem or even less. So okay, now we're on a timer, so let's hurry up. So we put in the account we just got. It's currently breached. I might have to skip because I think I did breach this already. Let's see what happens if I just put some random parameters in there. It's breached already. Okay, never mind. Let's actually get another one then. Harvest skip true. This should give us another one. There we go. We put that one in. So now we're connected to it. Now we can put in some random command to see if there is a lock on it. Well, which lock is, well, we can see which lock is on it. It's an easy 40 lock. I'm actually not sure how those work. But we're gonna figure it out. Let's just put in something and see what it says. 2 is not a string. Okay, I guess it just wants an unlock command as well. Unlock is not the correct unlock command. Yes, okay, cool. I think it wants a digit as well or something. Open is not either, so let's try release. You just have to learn the patterns, basically. Okay, it wants a prime. Okay, I think I never thought this lock. A prime. Okay, let's see. 1 is a prime, right? 2 is as well. Nope, not the correct one. 3 is a prime. 5. Maybe 7. Oh, there it was. Never mind. 5. Oh, there's another lock. I might run out of time here. That's a C. Oh no, I don't think I can beat this in time. I'm not sure what the C3 lock wants. String. Hi. Colors. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not gonna work in time. Okay. Anyway, basically you have to learn the patterns of the different locks, and as you can see, the locks can be stacked, so you have to unlock multiple locks. You have to do it in time. Obviously you can write scripts for this to make this a little easier, but you have to figure out how the locks work exactly before that. For example, you have to figure out which colors are available to put in there, because there are only a limited number of colors that the lock knows about, and but the C3 lock will always use a different one of those colors, so it's randomized which of those colors is the correct one for this attempt. Or until, not at this attempt actually, like every 30 minutes I think, all the locks are reset and they will pick a different random correct answer, I guess. But there's, for example, like let's make, that's actually a good example. So colors. Some locks take colors. Well, there are 8 colors that are legal, and you can learn about them when you join the correct chat channel. Because in this chat channels, an NPC will post a message every few minutes, which consists color names. If you collect all those color names, you have all the colors available, and then you can start writing a script that tries out all those color names, for example. And you find this channel by listening to random NPC chatter, which is going on in the 0000 channel. And that's basically how this game operates. Like you find clues and stuff here and there, you do a lot of trial and error and a lot of guesswork, and you put things together, and well, yeah, you solve puzzles by doing so, basically, I guess. So that's how the whole hacking thing works. It's not really like real life hacking, but I guess it's is it better? Well, it's at least different to the progress quest kind of style of hacking, which most hacking games do, like Hacknet and what's the other one called? Hackers Ultimate Hacker? No, Hacker. What's the name? I forgot. I recently played it. Hacker Universe? Something along those lines, I don't know. Like with some kind of progress bars you have to fill up, and you have to just call the right command to unlock or to break the right security measure, I guess. So it's a little bit more engaged. You have to at least like figure stuff out and try it out. I'm not a big fan of the whole guesswork and riddle thing, but I guess that's a personal opinion or personal preference. I don't like this kind of stuff, really. As mentioned earlier, like I like to get proper feedback. Well, those logs kind of give you some feedback at least, like, oh, we need a color here, okay, we need a string here, we need a number, a prime, whatever, stuff like that. So it's not that bad, but it's still like the breaking of the locks is not fun to me, and I'm gonna talk about a little bit more about that later on. Let's get to the interesting part, shall we? Let's talk about scripting. So there is the game will actually not tell you this, but there is a command called #help, and that will reveal a bunch of hashtag commands which are all connected to scripting, and you can use #edit and then the name of a script, chat script or whatever, which will open a JavaScript file on your computer with your default JavaScript editor, basically. If you don't have a default JavaScript editor set up, this might cause an error, so you might want to do that before doing this. And, well, it's a JavaScript script, and you can use the full power of JavaScript, and then you can upload it to the game. You also can access the in-game scripts from your JavaScript script. Did you say JavaScript script? That sounds really silly, but I can't say from your JavaScript because that's wrong as well. And just saying from your JavaScript, I don't know, it's a little weird. Anyway, so you can access the in-game scripts, and you have access to a personalized MongoDB as well. So you have a database where you can store information in, user data or whatever you want, which is interesting and allows you, like, it's really powerful actually. Like, there's, for example, good example, Ada is an user who writes a lot of useful scripts, for example, and he wrote a mail client, so we can use Ada HMail, and it will, well, open the mail client and it shows you if you have any mails. I actually have some old mails lying around there from DTR, and I can read them with Ada HMail read and then the number of the mail and stuff like that, or I can send new mails to other people and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. If you don't know about a script, by the way, there's a really useful script by DTR called DTR man, which where you can put in any script name you want. Well, not all of them are documented, but most of them are documented. So, for example, if you don't know how the mail client works exactly, you type in DTR-man page Ada HMail, and you press enter, and it will give you a pretty long list. Actually, no, the one for HTML is not long. Okay. Oh, actually, no, it's very long. So with all the parameters you can use and stuff like that. And, well, a very in-depth description of how the mail client works. So that's pretty cool. And you can do all kind of stuff. Like, there are some cracking scripts, which basically are able to beat all the locks. And the interesting thing is there's like a payment system as well. So if you write a script, you can use some in-game scripts that will work as like a safe transaction method, basically. So if someone wants to use your script, they have to pay a fee, and you will get that fee from that user via a safe system from the game itself. So, for example, someone wrote a cracking script. I'm sure it should be in full stack, I think. Let's see if we can find it. Scripts full stack. It might be breach T1. I think it's Ada's breach T1. So if you use that, you can breach. Like you can give it as an argument an account name. Well, not a name. I don't want to go into the technicalities how it works exactly, but basically you can pass it a user account, and the breach will attempt to breach all the tier 1 locks that are on this account. And tier 1 locks are the easy locks and the C locks, I think. There are more advanced locks than those later on. I have no idea how to beat the tier 2 locks, by the way. I tried. I have no idea. But, yeah. Anyway, so... And every time you want to use that script, you have to pay a fee, though, and Ada will get the money you pay. So that's interesting. Like there's basically a player-driven script economy going on. That's a really cool idea. I really like that. By the way, a warning: the game will not teach you how to use JavaScript. If you don't know how to do JavaScript, well, you will not be able to script in this game. Scripting is not necessary. Sorry. Let's try that again. Scripting is not. What's the word? Not required. That's the word I wanted to use. It's not required to play this game, but I think it makes the game way more interesting to write your own scripts and stuff like that. There are obviously there's a bunch of chat clients, for example, that are a little better than the regular chat. For example, there's DTRS, which is pretty good because it's very short, and you can use something like usually. If you remember, I can use chat, send, and then have a channel name 000 and then a message test, for example. But it's way quicker to write DTRS 000 colon and test. That's way shorter, isn't it? That's pretty neat. And you can write your own chat client and stuff like that. And I think the DTRS actually allows you to define aliases as well for usernames you use a lot and stuff like that. So it's pretty good. But I started to write my own one, which, for example, remembers which was your last target, or which people, like it remembers who you were talking to earlier, and just if you don't specify a new user, it will just send you a message to the same user. It's not finished yet though, so I did not publish it, but you can do stuff like that if you want to. There's a bunch of random stuff. Did I mention? I don't think I did. There is, if you're looking for money, there's a really useful script by DTR. He's very generous, so he did set up the Haunty Mall, which basically is a little mini game, and you can win money. I can't right now though, because I did win already today, or played already today, so I can't show you that. But it's a good way to make some money if you're lucky. So I recommend that. And yeah, so you still probably don't really have a good idea on what to do in this game and how this all works. And to be honest, I don't have either. So I really like the idea of the game, the core concept, the idea of having like a player-driven script economy. But I can't really get my hands on it. I can't get behind it. Basically, I sat down and talked a lot to Seed Makes Games, which is the developer, and DTR, which is the top player of the game right now. And with right now, I mean pre-release. And I had a pretty long chat with them and tried to figure out why they are so excited about the game and what the vision of the game is and stuff like that. And I think the idea is similar to EVE Online. There was actually a comparison I made in this conversation, but Seed kind of confirmed that that's similar to what he was going for with this game. So you have in EVE Online, you have this those very core mechanics like mining, crafting, fighting. Probably a little bit more than that, but that's like the core gameplay. And then on top of that, you have the whole player-driven economy and politics going on, which make the game interesting, right? And I think in this game, like, the idea is that you have the core gameplay is like finding the user logs and hacking them, like breaking the locks. And the fighting would maybe be the PvP, like hacking other players, actually, which is, by the way, a little bit more complex than just hacking an NPC user account. Because you cannot just, like, you have to breach logs, but you also need some scripts to transfer money. They will not just transfer you the money if you break in. You have to get scripts for that, which you have to buy first. Like, you have to buy an upgrade to use them. You cannot write them yourself. Those are like intern game scripts. Like, I think it's called X for GC from player or something like that. Or, I don't know. I forgot how it is. Anyway, you need a script with an upgrade, which you have to buy first from the market. I'm kind of derailing my thought here, I'm sorry, but I just realized I forgot to talk about that kind of stuff, so I want to do that right now. So there's a market, and in the market you can filter it for a script, for example. Let's do that, and it shows you a bunch of thingies. Like, those are upgrades which will give you access to a script, basically. So if you get, I think, transfer, then you can actually steal money from a player. You need 25 millions though to actually buy this, and you also need, like, your account level has to be high enough, which you can upgrade with money again, to actually deploy enough or activate and load enough upgrades, I guess. Expose access log, for example, gives you access to a script that allows you to see the access log of another user, so you can see who logged in there. First of all, before you hack a user, you need to get his log, which is basically his ID, and if you don't have the ID, you cannot hack him. It's basically a second part. You saw that when I was hacking is it still in here? Yeah, this part is basically the log, the second part, and you will not just find, like, some people post it on publicly. So DTR and Scene, for example, did it because it's basically impossible to break their logs anyway. So they just did it, put it out public. DTR once is for example documented in the DTR main script and stuff like that. So you have to get those logs. For example, if someone accesses your account, then you can check your log to see their log. Like, you can see you can check your access log with the G to get their log with a C at the end. A little confusing wording there. So that's a way, for example, to get those logs, or whatever. There are multiple ways, I think. Social engineering, for example, is another way to get someone's log. And if you have the log, you can hack them. You can use scripts on them, like getting the money, checking their access log, which might reveal other logs to you, for example. That's another way of getting them. Other things you can buy at the market, or actually find as well. When you hack a random NPC user accounts. So you can find or buy things like logs, which will help you to protect your account, because people have to break those logs first. And as mentioned earlier, tier 2 logs can be pretty hard to break. Even if you know how they work, it's still fairly hard to write a script for it. I think I cannot actually confirm that because I don't know how they work, but that's what DTR told me. I think, if I remember correctly, at least. I hope I don't quote him wrong here. So yeah, so there's a bunch of stuff going on. So, okay, let's get back to the EVE comparison. So, as mentioned, in EVE you have the mining and the crafting and trading and the fighting. Well, the trading, not really the trading, is part of the player economy, which is on top of that, makes the game interesting. In this game, you have the finding of user accounts, hacking them by breaking the logs, and the hacking of other players by accessing their logs and breaking their logs. There are 3 different logs in this game. There's log, like access log. There's a log, which is the ID, and there's a log which protects your account. This is very confusing when you talk about it. It's pretty clear when you write it down, but well, anyway. So, and the idea is that on top of those mechanics, you create this player-driven scripting economy, basically, and marketplace as well, because you can also sell things on the market and stuff like that. And I really like the idea, but it doesn't make click for me. It just doesn't work. I don't know. maybe I just don't get it. But it doesn't feel, I don't feel it. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, like, okay, I like writing scripts, so I could be someone who writes scripts that other people use, but I don't really have a good idea of making interesting scripts that are actually useful. Like, obviously there are some obvious examples like man pages, chats, cracking scripts, stuff like that, but nothing like. I feel it's very limited. I'm not quite sure. I think a big part why I don't get the game is that I don't like the core mechanics of like guessing and riddle solving. That's just not my thing. So I think that's a big part of it. And the other part I think is that the game is lacking in features right now. Like, there are corporations, as you saw earlier, from NPCs, but they don't do anything besides being an access point for NPC. Yeah, they're nothing besides that. And player can actually create corporations as well. But they're not, like, they don't do anything either. And they plan to do more later on, but right now they don't. The game's not really in early access, but the developer says, like, basically if enough people play the game, he has like a lot of ideas he wants to implement. But well, yeah, so he will if a bunch of people are gonna play the game. But so there might come more updates, hopefully with more features. There's other stuff that would be interesting. Like, I don't know. There could be so much more to this that would make this interesting. I had a good idea earlier. I forgot it. God damn it. So, I don't know. It just feels like there's not enough going on right now besides the riddle solving. I think there should be more core mechanics the whole economy can evolve around. Like, if you compare it to Eve again, like, in Eve, the thing is, you are forced, not forced, but it's very beneficial to you to interact with other players. Because, sure, you can go mine out yourself, craft all the things yourself, and to get what you want, like a better ship or upgrades or whatever. But it's way more efficient to actually cooperate with other players, and one guy is going for the mining, one is protecting him, someone else gets some other resources, or you buy resources from a completely different player. One crafts this part, the other one crafts this part. You trade, you buy stuff from other players, you sell the things you have, stuff like that. Like, it's very beneficial. It makes all the things way more efficient and quicker. I don't really think this really works in this game. I guess you can cooperate to solve the riddles and understand how the locks work and stuff like that. But I think it should be more like there should be more core mechanics that actually benefit you for interacting with other players. I guess the market is another thing where this kind of works, but I don't know, it's very straightforward again. Like, you just buy things. In Eve, you have to get the things where you, like, if you can buy it from one system, but then you have to get there and to get the thing. Like, there's transport to be made. So you could hire someone to bring it to you, for example. That's not a thing that can happen here. So I'm not sure if that's the core issue. That's just that's the ideas I had. That, like, I was thinking about what's the difference. Why does this work in Eve, and why doesn't it work, at least for me, in this game? Because I want to like this game. Maybe you have realized that already, but I'm really actually enthusiastic for the idea of this game, of having this, like, multiplayer hacking sandbox. That's amazing. That's really cool with real scripting. I love it, but I don't, and that's the problem. I have to say though, I invested a bunch of hours into this game already. At least, I don't know, 8-10 hours, something along those lines, if not more. Most of it was just chatting with 2DTR or something though. But anyway, I invested a bunch of time in this game already, and I don't regret it. So it was entertaining so far, but I'm definitely at a point right now where I say, okay, that's it for me. Like, I don't want to play more of this, at least not right now. So I'm gonna give it another shot when the game is actually released. Well, which it is when you watch this video, but it's not when I record it. And when there are a bunch of, like, more players around, maybe this changes the dynamics a little bit. Or when there are more features implemented later on. So I'm gonna give it a shot again. But right now, I'm just at this point where that's it for me. Like, I did everything that was fun for me, like the figuring stuff out, how things work and what they're supposed to do. But actually doing the things and interacting with them, I don't really feel engaged doing that, I fear. And it's a little disappointing because I really wanted to like this game. So yeah, I'm a little sad that that I don't. I fear, but I think a few people, like, it's super niche, obviously, but I think a few people will still appreciate it and really like it. Like, there are a few people in there already that are really enthusiastic about it, like the DTR guy, then Ada, and Sauron, and there are a few people who are like really enthusiastic about the game and have a lot of fun with it already. And there was a bunch of stuff like where they were finding 0-day exploits in their scripts, and like DDR like was very close to dropping the whole database of another player, but he didn't because he didn't want to, but he could have, stuff like that. And they're also like they've apparently found a bunch of bugs in the game's code and abused those to exploit other players' scripts and stuff like that. So yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, the game in general is a little buggy. I experienced a few bugs in the tutorial or in the single player part as well. Also, there's this scratch window over here where you can post stuff, but it's a little strange. Like, you cannot make a line break here. I don't know, it's a little weird, and you cannot really copy from here either, I think. Like, if I copy, no, that doesn't work. I don't know, this is a little weird. I'm not sure if that's supposed to work this way. It's a little strange. Oh yeah, there's, by the way, no option menu, but there's like there's one option. I forgot where it is. Is it sys? It might be sys. No, it's not sys. I don't know. There's somewhere there's an option. It's not act, probably. You can change the sound settings via a command line interface, but there's no window mode or anything like that. No resolution settings. You don't need graphic settings, obviously, for this, but window mode and resolution would be nice. So yeah, that's lacking as well. But yeah, I think I said everything I wanted to say. The video is pretty long already anyway, so let's wrap this up. It's called ＨacKmud. If you're interested in it, I recommend checking it out. The link is in the description below, as always. It's available on Steam, and I wish I would like this game. That's I guess what I got for this. Yeah, I wish I would like it. It's called HacKmud. I am THPine. Thank you a lot for watching. If you like this video, consider subscribing. I cover a bunch of, well, nerdy and crazy games, I guess, and in general, everything that has some sort of unique game mechanics or somehow appeals to me because it's tactical or turn-based or whatever. So that's the kind of stuff I look into if you're interested in that as well. As mentioned, consider subscribing, and besides that, always have fun, and see you next time.